Well, welcome. This is Julie Mansell from Gem Ministries International, and I'm just going to do a little chat with you about things that are happening in my world and what God is showing me and teaching me. I am outside with my dog. We've just been for a walk in our town. I'll just do you a little talk round, show you where we are. This is what we call the Domain, where people play rugby and cricket. And those buildings that are coming into view now are part of the museum that's in Otorohanga where I live. So we've just been for a walk. Bailey's with me. Here's Bailey. And, sorry, it's a bit messy. Just wanted to come on and share a few things about God and about life in general, a day in the life of a normal Christian. So today is Sunday. This town is really quiet, and apologies if you hear Bailey complaining in the background. He doesn't understand why we suddenly stopped. So Sunday is my day that I do some work on my masters. I make sure that I try and do a rest day on Sunday, which is very hard because I've got an extremely busy life and there's always 100 things that I have to do, and they start to press on my mind. But I have to realize that it's out of rest that we minister. And part of that is taking some time out to do the things that you need to do to recharge your batteries and carry on with ministry. So I am just, as I said, I'm working through an assignment. I've been poring over my books for 3 or 4 hours. And from that you end up with a paragraph or two to write, because everything has to be condensed into a small amount of space. And sometimes it's very difficult to grasp the concepts and the work of somebody's whole life in ministry in just a paragraph. Obviously, I'm not doing the whole book. I'm just doing a small section of what they believe on a particular topic. And comparing that with 2 other people and what they believe on a particular topic, and then writing about what I believe. And when we actually sit down and articulate what we believe, we soon becomes apparent to us that we actually don't fully understand why we believe what we believe. And it's become something that's embedded in our culture and our theology that we've learned through church without acknowledging or realizing the scripture and the interpretation of scripture that we've been fed over the years. The other thing I'm finding as I'm doing this masters, and I'm getting towards the final stages now. I'm going to be starting my thesis as soon as I finish this and the next assignment. I'm on to my thesis. But what I'm beginning to realize is that people can spend and do spend a whole lifetime in documenting and interpreting their vision of scripture, and perhaps in some cases, not entirely, but in some cases, they've completely got the wrong end of the stick because of a preconceived idea of scripture. And so I'm not in any way suggesting that I understand everything completely, because the more you study, the more you realize how little you actually do understand. But as you start to devour other people's life works, you can start to think and question some of the things that they write. For example, hey, you just said that statement, but it contradicts what you said a few pages back, or you haven't considered such and such. And so I'm finding I'm getting to that stage of my learning in doing my master's in theology. So what else is happening in my life? We're busy as usual in the mill to, what's our tent making, so to speak, that earns the money for us to actually live. And I'm also busy with my mentorship program with a group of pastors from Africa, mainly Uganda and Kenya, Ghana and Liberia. So that takes up a little bit of time. I've also got a couple of books that are in the writing, and I put my hand up to write some textbooks for a Bachelor of Theology that is going to be introduced for Africans in the next 12 months. So I've got a pretty full-on plate ahead of me. And I'm really sensing that God is calling me to document and write down some of the things that I believe, but not in a theological way, because quite often when you're reading those books, it is so difficult to actually comprehend and understand what they mean. And so I am a simple person. I have not come through a seminary education, but I I want to try and explain my understanding in the terms that an ordinary average person would understand in simple English. It's obviously got to be simple English because it has to be translated to many different languages. So that's kind of what I believe God is leading me into in the next phase of my life. And being stuck in this beautiful country and not able to travel anywhere means that my ministry has to be online, at least for the foreseeable future. So today I did some work on the website. I put out the next newsletter. I kind of missed the May one, but it's only just June, so it's sort of okay, I guess. Put out the next newsletter. I've got an Empowering the Believers conference that I'm organising on Zoom and Facebook Live at the end of June. So I've pretty much got the material for that organised. I've preached on it many times when I've gone across to Uganda. But I want to formulate that also into a small booklet. When I say I'm writing a book, I'm not writing an epic novel, but I'm writing a small sort of 80 to 100 page book on particular topics. So that's kind of my life, where things are at the moment, and as you can see, it's busy. On my personal front, I'm still on my weight loss journey, and that's going good actually at the moment. It's getting there. It's not easy, and that's there's a spiritual answer in that too, that the things that we actually want to achieve are not easy. God tells us to diligently seek him out and he will reveal things to us. It's not that he's hiding things from us, but he wants us to dig out the gems and the truth of the scriptures. So this is a bit of a longer day in the life of a normal Christian, so I'll sign off for now. Bailey's getting restless. He wants to carry on with his walk. And this is Julie Mansell from Gem Ministries International. See you next time.